Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and today we have Tom Jack on the line with us, and I am so excited to have him. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to do this recording and interview with me.
Of course. That's why we're here.
So I would like you to introduce yourself.
I have a company called Blue Fire Explicit, which is a production team. And basically, I'm America's Next Super Producer, and hopefully I'm next televangelist. You know, that would be awesome. On my Facebook page, on my Instagram page, I'm always going to talk about just all the things that I see going on, just with the God twist on it, with the Tom Jack twist on it, with the Leavenworth, Kansas twist on it, you know. So there's just so many different things that come with me. But yeah, I just love to live life and just enjoy life with people. So that's what brought us together.
And what I like is that we didn't even know it, but we are, that's my homeboy. We're from the same region of the United States.
Yes.
And we have quite a few people in our group that are all from Kansas City or Kansas or somewhere like that. So, hey, we got to have a good conversation today. So today, what I want us to talk about is relationship as a whole. And we could be here all day and, you know, I can't keep you long. But I just want to start with talking about friendship in short, because what I'm seeing is your age is in betwixt. On one hand, you're cool being single and enjoying life and doing the most and figuring out what your dreams are and pursuing your passion.
Right.
And then some of you want to get married and some of you don't want to get married because it's like, don't save me none of what I've seen in my generation.
Right.
So what I want to talk about is how important it is to be a good friend.
Right. Well, and I think, and I don't know how much I would blame on the last generation for, I mean, obviously, you know, without the good things in the last generation, we literally wouldn't have our generation. So there's a lot of good things that happened in not only our generation, but a lot of good things from the past generation that y'all gave to us, and a lot of tools. However, there obviously, just like in any generation, there were things that didn't go necessarily so right as well. I wouldn't put it on that for why people, younger people, such as my age or younger, can't relate to one another. I think it's more human nature. I would put it more on human nature. This generation can be summed up like as a toddler who doesn't even understand the concept of justice yet, but like to be able to explain it. But if you take that child's toy away from them, or if you were to even start playing with a toy that they weren't even looking at, they just start to say, mine. I've been done wrongly. You know what I mean? Even if you bought the toy yourself, you know, and you're looking at this kid like, your toy, yes, I gave to, like, you explain to me justice. Explain to me, you know, 3-year-old, how, you know what I mean? Like, make it make sense. My whole generation, I feel like it has that sense of entitlement, has that sense of like a burning rage that they can't really fully like even articulate to even go in the right direction with things. And people drag these types of things into every relationship that they go into.
Ooh, that's pretty deep.
I say we loosely, but I will say we carry this into every relationship that we have, whether romantic or platonic. There's all this baggage there's all this bitterness that accumulates over time because of base level entitlements.
And expectations.
That wasn't in expectations that wasn't met.
I wanted to bring it back to friendship because a lot of what you're alluding to even now is an issue in my mind of friendship, meaning this: if you have a person that you start dating,
right,
and you all were attracted to each other in the first place physically and maybe from a personality standpoint. So you ask her out, get some coffee at Starbucks, and she says yes, and you all really enjoy your connection. Well, there's attraction going on, there's chemistry going on, and there may be even certain natural lusts that are going on, like, oh, she's hot here, I love the way she does, whatever. Yeah. All that's going on, and especially for a guy, that's what guys are attracted to, the physical piece first, you know. They want character too, but the first thing, when I see you from afar, and I don't know you from Adam's house cat, my favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
The looks is what gets their attention. So we get
Yeah.
that. But if before you say I do, if that's what you're after, you don't make sure that you all have an authentic friendship, you're in for some really rough times down the road because
Right.
you had the analogy of a toddler. My analogy is new cars. When you buy a new car, it smells so good. It's got all the perfect leather and
Right.
the sound system is perfect and the air conditioning works just like it's supposed to. And you're just like in la la land fantasy,
Right.
really. It feels so great. But no matter how well you take care of that car, keep it clean, it's going to age. You've got to be really intent on building relationship, building friendship in that.
Absolutely. Intentionality is everything. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when you've decided that that's what you're after, that'll help you learn and uncover a lot of things and take emotion out of it.
You can't be impulsive with other people's lives. When you're single, you can go a lot more off of impulse. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I just want to jump out here and do this. I want to go and do this. Hey, I catch a plane, go over here. Hey, don't ask me about my life. I'm single. You know, like you can live with that type of mentality.
Sure.
But when you get somebody else, now we have to look at your ability to be held accountable and your ability to hold others accountable with the right type of heart. Because true love doesn't keep records of wrongs like
Right.
that. So you don't want to become an accuser and have an accusatory heart, because that then will wear somebody out. You know, we're not all perfect in these things, but to have a good understanding of both being held accountable and holding someone else to an accountability and taking that responsibility and stepping up to that. And that all takes communication. That all takes interpersonal relationship skills.
Right, to be willing to give each other truth and feedback in a relationship. Exactly. And not just say the boogers hanging out your nose and not say anything.
Exactly. Or when, yes, because sometimes a lot of people avoid telling somebody that there's a booger in their nose or there's some spit in their teeth. However, then there's also people that will take that as a moment to find the moral high ground when that's not really one of those type of deals, you know, or to make fun of somebody and, you know, and cover up their insecurities and project on someone else. There's so many different ways that you can communicate, but to actually build a relationship, it takes a lot of intentionality.
And it takes a lot of understanding too of human behavior, because one of the things that I've really been focusing on and learned in the last 6 months is that we think we know each other. And we're so convinced we do because I've had lunch with you, or I've known you for 20 years, or we kicked it and went and did camping, or whatever. There's all these different experiences that we can kind of put on the shelf and say, hey, I know you because of da da da. But did I sleep with you? And I don't mean sex, but was I in the same house with you? Did we go on vacation at an Airbnb for a weekend or even a week or two, or did we do a business trip together where we had to share the same facilities or something like that? Because there's a home behavior and then there's a social out behavior. And a lot of times we have these unstated, uneven, recognized expectations of one another based on our experience with one another. So because I experience you like this when we go out to lunch and when we have these conversations, then I say Tom's like that. When the reality is, I don't know all of Tom on a whole bunch of levels. So then when I married Tom, because he makes me feel happy, he makes me laugh, we really get along, we're friends, then he comes out and he has this behavior that only home shows you. All of a sudden, I'm devastated or I'm shocked or I don't know how to manage that because I didn't get to know all of you. And I know that we can't predict everything in a person. I don't care how much research you do, how much delving in, there's going to be aspects that just come out over the years.
Well, yeah. And I mean, you know, marriage is literally you attaching another human being to yourself. And I don't know if you've read the label on those things lately, but those things are dangerous. A human being, I know my own problems and different things like that. Attaching somebody whose problems I don't even know, I'm attaching that person to myself. That I'm definitely in for a ride. You know? But there's one specific thing to take into account in my life. Can't speak for everybody else. We read books far and wide. And one of them, I definitely looked into the King. I believe it was a man named King Lemuel, I believe. Charming, Deceptive, and looks are fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Or that is to say, like, if you can find somebody that goes according to the standard of somebody that holds a standard so high, capital S on somebody, then I would have to say that is probably the most consistent thing I can find, to hold somebody. If I can come to understand that they're pushing towards the same goal, the same mission as me, that's something that I highly take into account, because their looks are going to fade. And so the thing that's even attracting me to them, attraction only is to attract me. Now I'm here. Now that only
that's good.
That goes so far. And then the charm, just that vibe, the vibes and stuff like that, that's deceptive even. Like, like a woman can make you feel so good. A man for a woman can someone can make you feel like you are, oh my goodness, this feels so good. This is how life need to be every day.
Like the new car.
Yeah, but that person's not a vending machine where you just,
Right.
D2. Now I get this vibe, and now we're happy today.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, but if you even think about it, when you're dealing with a relationship, and I keep using the car because it's a real good example of how things just get old, things wear out. Right. But when you first buy that car, it's like the newest thing ever, and it feels like it's going to be that way forever, especially if it's a luxury car. But no matter what kind of car it is and how much money you pay for it and how well you take care of it, it's going to wear out. And more importantly, it's going to wear off. There's going to be a day when you get in that car, it doesn't woo you like it did when you first purchased. And that happens with your mate or with your friends, with a new apartment, with a new job, no matter what it is. But God, everything wears out and it just gets old. Now, a mature person takes the old and they appreciate the leather wear. They appreciate the longevity. They appreciate that it serves them still. Yeah.
Well, the older cars that they made lasted longer because they actually built them correctly. If we want to take it to that in the analogy.
Yeah.
Now, relationships are getting built. They're not getting built face to face many times. They're getting built online.
Yeah.
They're getting, you might meet somebody face to face, but rather than asking that person for their phone number, I know many times the quickest way that I can get attached to a female is to ask for Instagram, or ask for Facebook or present mine. And so much of because she's not gonna give me our number off the bat. If you just met me, these are just the vibes, you know what I'm saying? I just look like whatever, laugh type of thing. So can I get now in that moment of having you like that? Can I get your Instagram? Now I can be attached to you. Now we can talk, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm an intentional guy. I'm, whatever. But that's some like, it can't just stay that.
Right.
Or else it's not real. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it's not real. If you have to have those real moments, and so many people are living in a zone that's not real. They keep it in the I got a filter on the whole time I'm talking to you, or I got this, or you see how kids take so much more, more into their fashion and stuff like that. They're dressing it up a lot better. But when you get married, when you have a friend that you live with or something like that, or like what you're saying, then you're seeing behind the filter. You're seeing behind the clothes. You're seeing behind and we've made the mask look so good in my generation, but didn't take care. Like, it's like your car analogy. They built them cars right back in the day to where a lot of them still running today, as long as they just took care of it. A lot of these cars, they ain't even built good enough for you to take care of it good enough. Like, I don't think I'm going to see, like one of these Ford Focuses in 50 years from now at some type of no, it's going to be gone. All the plastic's going to blow off of it. And you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't even built very well. And so we're not building very good anymore. We're not building as strong as our parents' generation built relationships.
Technology has really robbed us. I mean, on one hand, it feels like we've gained so much for having the technology, but it's taken the people touch away. And so it's really, really important to understand that when you meet somebody, there's just so much more depth you have to go into to really understand who it is you're standing in front of. And there's so many ways to get that information in a very legitimate way. And we'll
Right.
end, unfortunately, because we've already gone way over, but we'll end with, and I want you to be able to have something to say too, but I want to end with this. When you're pursuing a long-term relationship and you desire to have substance to your relationship, you've got to get past the person to find out who they are. And before you go into it, because I wouldn't be me if I didn't say this part, you got to know who you are beyond a shadow of a doubt. And you've got to feel complete and entire, wanting nothing without that person in your life. You don't feel, you if you go into it saying they're going to make me a better person, that's okay, but you better be already better already. It's not you're incomplete and you're substandard, and now because you met this person, they're going to make your life turn around. No, you got to be turning your life around when you meet that person. So whole plus whole equals better together.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love it.
And don't forget that you need to meet their family as soon as possible. Not necessarily because you want to marry them, but just because in order for you to really know who it is you're with, you need to meet their extension. Tom, thank you so much. What are your closing thoughts?
I said that you're right. But yeah, no, we've had such a wonderful conversation, and it goes right along with, like I was telling you earlier, things that my father taught me as far as looking at someone, how a man treats his mother is how he'll treat you. How a woman treats her father, how she respects him, how she, looks to him. What did she look to him for, and stuff like that. Daddy issues are a real thing. And not to say that a woman that has daddy issues or has things that she's gone through, that is not to say, and all the things that you're saying, I don't hear you saying necessarily that, oh, because I see this in your family, or I see that this was in your past or whatever, that disqualifies you. No, but something to take into account so I can understand how to love you properly. And I need to be intentional about these things. And so everything that you said goes right in line with just good teaching and things that can really turn around a generation.
I'm glad you said what you said too, because I forgot that part. Just because you see these things in the family extension does not mean, oh, walk away. But it does mean, do I really want to deal with that? I've got information that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Yes. Now, what does that mean for me? Because that person may be the pearl that you're okay with rubbing against and seeing them come into even better perfection, but at least you know what you're signing up for.
Right.
And that's what's critical. So yeah, Tom, we'll have to do this again for sure. All right, y'all. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. We would love your comments. You got to hear our thoughts and what we were thinking. Now we want to know what you're thinking. So please chime in. If there's anything more you want us to talk about, or you want us to come back, come let us know. Do a subscribe. And when you do the subscribe, make sure you hit the notification button so that when I upload every Friday, which is what I do, you will get a notification of the new recording. And so in the meantime, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Tom.
All right.